Clover.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Video Game Playing Friends Club. My name is Frankie, and I have a bunch of friends here today, so this is Video Game Playing Friends Club with friends, and we're in New York City. So this is Video Game Playing Friends Club with Friends World Tour, because I want you to hate me.
I'm Joseph.
Yeah.
I'm not actually playing. Pat is going to be playing.
Who's Pat?
Who is Pat?
Is he a bunny?
He's not a buddy. He's a former LPer.
Yeah.
A fallen one.
We have a veteran.
What's your former LP handle?
G Wiggly. I am the lost sinner of Let's Players. I sit in my own regret day after day with my unfinished videos. Wielding a sword made of Powerpuff Girls. That sounds like my old videos there.
Are you still getting comments on your channel saying when are you going to finish this?
I mostly get comments for Astro Boy because I'm apparently the only person on YouTube that ever finished all the multiple paths of that game correctly.
You were like
that game is really hard. I did a lot of those paths.
At the end, you were complaining while playing it. You were like, "This is cool that they have all this special extra hidden content. You don't just have to play the entire game through again."
Yeah.
But oh my god, does it take so much time?
Yeah.
Dude, finding all that secret stuff.
Pat, what are we playing here? This looks like nonsense.
We are playing Viewtiful Joe, another fallen game from a fallen studio. This entire guest Let's Play World Tour is all about, like, regret and death.
Good, there's a theme.
Yeah, there is. We're working with it. Yeah, let's go in there.
Who else is here? Are you here, Eric?
Yeah, I'm here.
Is he?
Oh, okay, I'm...
No, I'm gone.
All right.
We're kids.
I'm dead.
Ooh, you chose kids?
We're kids.
I don't know. I don't think that's hardcore.
I don't think we're adults.
I don't think children know what hardcore is. I'm not sure they should.
They need to tunnel first before becoming adults. I tried adults probably if I was fresher with this game, but I haven't played this in like 4 years, so yeah.
Did you make the mistake of picking adults when you first picked up the game?
No, I didn't. I knew better. Something about the rainbow radiating over the adults just spells danger. So I stuck to the safety of kids.
I'm gonna put a disclaimer, like an epilepsy disclaimer at the beginning of this. Holy crap.
Well,
that seems like it might be a problem.
Will that flashing be picked up on YouTube though?
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, it'll either be worse or non-existent on the video. I'm not sure how
With
this will
any
pick
luck,
it up.
it'll just be a solid black screen.
Oh well, Pat, describe what's going on. Who's this old man?
This is Captain Blue, the hero of the main protagonist, Joe. And there's Joe. He's a movie otaku nerd. And I don't know why is the theater empty? These are things I haven't thought about. The things you don't consider when you're playing a game alone, but when you're in a group of friends, suddenly all these questions just spring to mind.
I did think about it. I was assuming that it was just like a B movie that no one cared about, but he's
Yeah.
super hardcore about
He's
it.
like
It's more like a TV. Isn't Henshin like TV show mostly in Japan?
Yeah, like all the Kamen Rider and like Super Sentai and things like that are usually television. But for some reason, Captain Blue is a series of... But it's Super Sentai, it was a series of old American Hollywood films at the exact same time. So we're already going to territory that doesn't really make sense.
Well, that's like how Kamiya works.
Yeah, just whatever seems cool.
Just hard smash genres and ideas together as hard as possible.
Whatever he thinks people
big?
won't ask him 10 times about every time he wakes up.
How big was Clover Studio when they made this game? Like, did they have the money to throw in, like... Did they have the money to make a bunch of characters that we're going to be seeing for the first 3 minutes of the game and never seen again?
I think this was their only success.
No, none of their games were really.
I mean, this was like their most successful game.
I love Clover Studio. Also, Akami won tons of awards, didn't
Yeah,
it?
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with money.
Actually, Akami was the final straw, I think.
No,
Okami,
Godhand came out.
Okami and Godhand came out like the same time.
But I think
no one liked
Okami's
Godhand.
bomb was like the sales bomb was the
Uh-huh.
final straw in getting their studio closed.
I was dissuaded away from Godhand by an Ars Technica article saying this is just ridiculous. They must have known they were, being downsized.
Oh, that game
But
got
they were being way too critical about the game.
I think everyone was.
If you look at a lot of reviews for Godhand, there's a lot of crazy bullshit ones that where people go back on now because the game is apparently brilliant. I haven't played it really, but
It's
I
good.
think it's great.
No one.
It's like
I think
IGN
IGN gave it a 3, and that was like this huge controversy.
Yeah.
I think it's I'm probably gonna be lynched for this, but I think it's like a better Dante with Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry. I haven't played it, so I can't tell
Not
you.
really the same game though. Devil May Cry had platforming elements. Godhand was just kind of trying to be kind of like a 3D brawler.
Devil May Cry.
Godhand is an arcade brawler. It didn't
Yeah.
care about being anything else.
Oh no, it didn't.
Okay.
Devil May Cry is more
I guess
about
I just probably haven't played enough of either, frankly. So.
I haven't either.
I mean, Devil May Cry plays smoother. Godhand's more awkward, but it's beautiful once you get used to it.
the most. Godhand's is Mikami, and Shinji Mikami made a Godhand, and Hideki Kamiya made Devil May Cry. So I think there's elements of what they like or shine.
I believe Godhand was his last game with Capcom.
Yeah, I think so.
It's weird. These two massive final straws came out of Capcom in the same week. Was it? Or did they come out the same
I
week?
guess.
Pretty close.
I remember Kami won a bunch of awards, no one gave a shit about it. At retail, didn't matter.
It's the closest thing PS2 would ever get to Zelda, and then it came out on the Wii.
Yeah.
9.5 IGN.
It bombed on the Wii too. There was
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Wii orders,
Yeah.
and it bombed. I think
So,
it came out PSN.
What made this series a success then, and not?
I wouldn't call it a success.
It was
never
the
got-
least faily.
But it didn't get completed because it was supposed to be a trilogy, but before they made the trilogy, they made the DS game, which was kind of a side story, and then they made the Smash Brothers clone fighting game, which was horrible. And then the studio got shut down, they never finished it. So the second game ends on a cliffhanger.
Oh no!
And then there was
Did
the
they
crappy
release comics
anime.
to finish it off or something?
No,
Capcom
not enough
doesn't do
fan
that.
base for that. They had
It's weird because this is a
series.
cartoon.
Yeah, there was a
show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
the
was an anime
show.
series.
I love the show, but the show was garbage. I can't honestly recommend it, but it's kind of a beautiful garbage.
Oh, it's
out here, or
The first season
Did
came
you
out
say
here. It was actually
Viewtiful?
aired on Kids Don't
It was,
Play.
yeah, okay,
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
it was bad. But it's one of those shows that was animated in 2000s, but kind of looks like it was made in 1993.
In a bad way?
Yeah, in a bad way. Like that really bad budget garbage era of anime.
For people who like watching anime but only watch really high grade looking stuff,
Yeah.
there is a lot of really bad looking anime, and a lot of it is aimed at children.
Sadly.
It looks just as bad as any bad American cartoon.
Right now he sucks because he can't transform yet. At the beginning of every single Viewtiful Joe game, he's his normal self with enhanced, I guess kind of like every Super Sentai, the way they're still human but slightly above average human level where they can jump super high and they're still kind of stronger than normal. But when they're not wearing their costumes, they're too weak to take on anything beyond generic grunt guys, which I can't remember the name of these guys.
this game kind of had a successor in the Wonderful 101.
Yeah. Same
Same director, same
visual vibe.
Yeah, the stubby little legs and whatnot.
different types of games, but there's a few ideas that
Similar
are,
spirits.
Actually, the original art style for the game was really close to this too.
Oh yeah.
People were ragging on that game when they first showed it.
It looks like Godhand all
It
over again.
looked like funny on purpose, and then it eventually looked slick but funny.
Well, they wanted to be really realistic looking and just take all the love and heart out of it, make it look generic and brown. I mean, take all the color out.
So one thing I've never really paid much attention to in this game is the background when it's not in the mid-ground, but they really look good. I feel like they spent a lot of time on
Yeah.
it.
This is one of the first games that impressed me with that type of thing.
Yeah, this game has layers
Oh, yeah.
that you can actually tell the difference between.
This is also a
They're not
side-scrolling.
distracting.
This is a side-scrolling game that came out at a time when side-scrolling games were not popular.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah, oh man, they're on the
It's
outs.
Totally missed time.
So there was there was I remember I had a lot of appreciation for it because of that too.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny to think about it now because side scrolls come out all the time now.
Yeah.
Now, you don't actually want side
None of them really look like. Not many of them look like meaty like this did first time though.
But,
This game is
when this game came out. This was a time when like a side-scrolling game came out. It was like, whoa, you're making like an old school kind of game.
yeah, and look at all this stuff going on the screen.
Nowadays, everyone makes like old school kind of games. Yeah, look at it.
I think did this game do better on the GameCube? It feels like it would have.
It
didn't do about the same.
it didn't sell. It sold about as well as it could on the GameCube because the GameCube had such a low fan base, a user base rather.
Yeah.
So they moved it to PS2, but it probably didn't sell that much better.
Not really. I bought it years after it was released.
I think
Capcom was late.
Capcom was willing to put money behind the franchise
Mm-hmm.
of sequels and like TV shows and stuff, but
Yeah.
it just didn't stick.
Well,
you know?
not much money in the TV show.
Well, yeah,
it was
yeah.
kind of sad that they had an animated series by Capcom and they put like no budget into it at all. It's like, what does that say? And they had so many episodes too, but it's kind of like they made it based on kind of like loosely on the first and second game, but then since there was no third game, they kind of gave up around the end of season 2. It was like, gigantic corporate shrug. But we did the best we could.
Joe lives on in a few fighting games in the last few years.
Where he is nowhere near top tier.
How do you feel about this transformation scene?
I kind of love it.
Power of VX.
Yep. Now we got
There was
slow. The anime ruined me because all I can think about now is all this that stupid Joe anime voice. Where every single time he do it, he goes slow. Every time. No. Anime Joe doesn't sound at all like the one in English. English, they make him kind of sound like a sort of California kind of nerd, kind of Sonic Jaleel White kind of voice.
I guess that's what he is.
Yeah, no, I guess maybe the cultural difference, that was the best approximation for it. Because in Japan, he's supposed to just kind of sound like super kind of like justice-filled, deep-voiced, kind of heroic kind of guy.
What's it
kind of
called?
like meant to be a hero, but doesn't really have the power to be. So, like...
Oh yeah, because he's like the Sentai warrior.
Yeah. So he sounds like super noble and like excitable about everything. And like stupid, but able to have those moments of like deep clarity that no one else can see because he thinks so purely. But in like the anime dub, he's just like this raging moron that like eats burgers and fries and makes jokes during battle because they couldn't think of what to do with themselves.
Was that 4Kids dubbing it?
I think it might have been.
It was on WB11, so
Of course
probably
it was.
Wait, it actually might not have been because actually they kept the opening sequence the same. It was in Japanese, which was confusing.
That might not have been might not have been
Yeah.
4Kids then.
I forget. I haven't heard this game in a long time, but I'm positive the guy who says cut
Mhm.
when you get game over is the guy who played Odie on Garfield.
Okay. Frank Welker. Was it Frank Welker?
No, it was his name's Greg. I think it's Greg Berger. He was corn-fed on Duckman.
Oh yeah.
Oh, another thing. This game came out at a time when slow motion was cool in games.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This game also came out at a time where I had to. Huh?
Like
So the slow motion works really well in this.
Yeah.
Though.
yeah.
Mhm.
No, I mean like this is like a little bit before the glut of slow motion and everything.
I
I think Max Payne started it in games.
Yeah,
Like it
Max-
clearly took it from the Matrix,
Yeah,
but I think
Max
it was.
Payne brought in the bullet time thing, and
This was before the Matrix or not?
this is
No, it's way after.
This is after.
Okay.
a few
It's like 4 years after.
Yeah. But I remember this was the generation before slow motion was like in a ton of games. Like early 360 PS3 games, like action games, love slow motion.
Yeah, slow it down.
Alright.
Bayonetta kind of has a variation on slow motion with the witch time.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You should show what happens if you run out of slow mo too.
Oh yeah. Keep going.
Is that like a special move of his in Marvel vs. Capcom?
Yeah.
Slow motion?
I think it's one of his special attacks or something. And when you run out of big power, you depower and you have to wait for it to refill.
Turn into a loser again.
Again.
Burgers.
I thought this was a really cool idea.
Mhm.
I like how you can regain the slow motion. Like you're not entirely punished for making it go away.
Yeah, it's like it's a very Kamiya
That's
thing
like
having a bar that you can. Devil May Cry kind of has it. Bayonetta has it. Wonderful 101 that has it like directly.
Yeah.
where you turn back into humans.
A lot of things in Wonderful 101 are just named after things in this, aren't they?
Well, there's a bunch of moves that I think a bunch of moves in this are named after
Crappy.
Crappy.
Like I think like Stinger and stuff are in this too, right?
Oh yeah.
Like
Triggers.
I think he puts like a certain move names in everything he makes.
I think these skeletons definitely spawn.
Do they? I don't remember.
How many souls do they drop?
And honestly, I always kind of like that because I like when the creators, style actually comes through the game.
I like this this duck man, separate from the duck man I mentioned before.
Excuse me?
Like
No, you're right. Well, but Ballerina can be a fellow.
Like
I think that's just a title.
I've always been a fan of, or rather, I always wanted to see more people pushing games by the people who make them rather than the company who publishes them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think a lot of Kamiya's games come through like that recently. Or rather, people refer to them as his games now, especially because it's present on Twitter these days.
Oh yeah.
I like how he can say the meanest things, and like maybe someone he works with will tell him to calm down or something, but he'll just swear at people, and he's allowed to and make like T or E rated games.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't impede on his work.
No, it makes it stronger. It's unrestrained like a monster. That's the only way games like this can exist.
I think
his taste in games are really funny too. He only likes old games. And he only likes like very specific old ones, like
what?
I can't remember his favorite game.
One of them like a weird Voltron game.
Yeah, like the first game he ever played was really weird. It was like
wasn't it I remember something about him enjoying a game that I had been told numerous times was terrible. But like I like hearing when people like bad games.
Cool.
Like they're able to get something out of like a technically poorly made device that other people didn't.
He likes like arcade shooters a lot too.
Yeah, that comes
Space
through.
Harrier and stuff, which he references in a lot of his games too. I don't know if this game has a shooter sequence, but like Bayonetta has one, and Devil May Cry has one at the end.
A lot of like Treasure and later Platinum, don't they all just like throw in things like shooter whenever they want?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Treasure's been away for a while.
Treasure hasn't done anything in
Bayonetta
a few years.
Yeah. Or the end of Devil May Cry. Oh, you'll see that. I can't give it away.
No, I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's.
I heard it's pretty awful. But
Yeah.
It's a Sega game, so they have to put that in there.
But Devil May Cry?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Bayonetta.
No,
That's how books work.
Bayonetta has.
I thought you were talking about Sega putting awful in games.
Bayonetta has an outrun stage.
That's what made me.
Or hang on stage. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
The motorcycle stage.
Speaking of which, Hang On
And
3D.
Space Harrier.
Hang On 3D is coming out for 3DS, which is
Hang On or just Hang
amazing
On?
because I think that either means they painted over or got the Ferrari license back.
Cheesy movie action flicks.
Oh, you know who else I think is in this? I have no basis for this assumption, but it looks like he's in this. The guy who played Let's Shake from No More Heroes.
Oh god.
And the fish from American Dad.
Really?
Yeah. Like whenever someone needs a sinister German character in a cartoon, they call D. Bradley Baker.
To lose the bowel control. Alright, I thought this was cool. Just drop down.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. There's
like
a lot of really neat things in this game.
I like how the slow motion isn't just you being able to see things slower.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually affecting the things around you.
Yeah. There's a lot of cleverness to this game. That's why I'm like, why is this not more appreciated? Because there was a lot of really good ideas, but people were into that whole punishing brutality being bad, which they're still doing with things like Dark Souls.
It's
Dark
well,
Souls
people talk with. They're not sure if they like punishing brutality or they even know what it is because Dark Souls 1 is technically a fair game.
Yeah,
you're just gonna die a lot.
Once you get used to it, it's really not that bad.
Yeah.
Dark Souls 2 is like every time a surprise party of enemies just busting up.
Yeah, it's like From Software took took all this crap from the press to heart and decided well, if you wanted to make a game like that, that's what's gonna happen.
It's weird. Like it kind of annoys me because a lot of game reviews or games media will shit on a game for being too hard, but will praise the hell out of Dark Souls. And it's like Dark Souls kind of got a pass for I guess because the whole game is advertised as being hard.
So yeah,
but a game like Wonderful 101 or whatever, like when people talk about how they died so much in that, like they'll just slap a 6 on it and call it a day. It's like that. It's kind of like a bummer. Like people don't want to play. People don't want to lose in a game anymore. Like, they want
to win.
They want to get through it. And stuff
Even if
like
it's
that.
boring.
And I guess like I could see like you want to get the end of the story. You don't have a lot of time to play it, stuff like that.
You
But
can just watch someone play it.
But
Like us.
like this,
I
yeah.
feel like that's fine and good, but it's the fact those people think that it's the only way to enjoy a game. And
Yeah.
because the game is hard, it's garbage. Like, since I work for a sales company, I spend a lot of time on Amazon just looking at things, including reviews. And
Oh my God, why?
Because I hate myself. So sometimes I just look for game reviews, mostly going to like the 1-star ones, because those are the people that are always crazy. And there's no middle ground or logical basis of the people that give 1-star reviews for anything. Nothing ever deserves a 1-star review. If you're gonna take time to write a 1-star review, just save everyone the trouble, because anything you have to say is not worth anyone's time. I'm sorry. That's all I have to say on that matter. But it's like the Dark Souls haters just kind of, it's like they have this sort of frothing at the mouth. They all just kind of become Travis to the level of Dark Souls, and basically trying to dissuade anyone from buying it, saying that it's like a waste of money for anyone to even play the game because it's not worth existing.
Are you talking about me?
Based on the bloodstains in Dark Souls will let you see how players died in the game.
Yeah.
Based on the bloodstains I've seen in Dark Souls 2.
How many guys
people
walk
don't-
off of ledges?
Yeah.
People die in rooms where there's nothing but air.
Yeah, like, I've seen people like die in that game with like plain sight where there's no enemies around or anything. And I'm like, what are people doing?
Maybe they ran a very long distance.
They just get tired.
It's really weird. Like I don't want to be like all snotty, like bad at the game thing. 'Cause I don't like being like that. But I've seen people who just like have died in that game for like the most ridiculous reasons, like in checkpoint areas there's no enemies around. It makes me think that there are enemies around. I see the bloodstains.
Especially when you see like 8 of them and it's right by a bonfire by a cliff, and they stand up and then run right off the cliff, and you're like, whoa!
I feel like that's a controller error, because Dark Souls is pretty touchy about what you do with the controls.
That's a stupid person error.
But I think it's like maybe like somebody grabbed the controller and just like ran him off the cliff or something.
Because like some people accidentally kill.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Some people accidentally kill the save lady.
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean, like, if it's user error, that's fair. But all these times, I've been people who are just not paying attention.
Did you go into the basement of the mansion in Missoula?
Oh, with the skull?
Yeah, there's one skeleton out there.
Guys,
He's
I want to
surrounded
talk
by
about Viewtiful Joe for a
No.
second. Is that okay?
No.
Is that okay?
Do you want to talk about it?
Speaking for itself. And I'm going to uppercut this guy into a helicopter.
Talk about Viewtiful
I
Joe right now,
love
Joseph.
This helicopter battle. I feel like this is what really sold me on the game. The mechanics are great, and I was really enjoying it before then. But when they just like set a helicopter at me in the first level, it was just like, wow.
I like-
this
Nice.
I like that, and the fact that you're fighting it in this amazing looking castle. It has no business being in here.
Why did the helicopter
It's
in there?
Because it's cool.
I remember when he shoots the machine gun at you and how you can like dodge the bullets with it.
Yeah, they did a
Was that
really
the
good
boss?
job of making
think
you
so.
use the mechanics
Oh.
as soon as they give it
Yeah.
to you, and then not feeling cheap, but them not expecting you to be a master of it.
And here's like more here's more Kamiya stuff right here.
People really latched onto this stuff.
Buying moves for your character. You never really have enough points to buy everything.
No. Sadly.
Yeah.
I
Well,
really
maybe
wanted to
not
learn how to
sadly.
kick, but
Are you able to use every move?
And another Kamiya thing is buying. You can either spend your money on more abilities or healing items. I think you can only carry like one healing item or whatever.
Chill, what's going on?
Yeah, it usually won't let you buy too many of them.
Yeah, unless it doesn't make cry, you can get like 50.
Yeah.
Pat,
Yeah.
I assume we're not going to get that far into the game. Do the puzzles in this game get progressively harder, or are they always about the same?
They get very DPS later on. Never impossible, but they really do stretch making you think.
I know,
Which
Eric.
I really enjoy, since it kind of breaks up the monotony of just killing things.
Right.
Yeah, I
do
heard
they,
they're sharp
do they
puzzles.
tend to use... Is it like Zelda, where it's
No.
like new puzzle or new mechanic, new puzzle, or
It
do they
always
mix
revolves.
it up?
It always revolves around like the power. Like even here, using slow just makes the drops bigger to add pressure. But they're always clever this way. But it's always involving a power in some way, or maybe hitting an enemy up, or something like that. Because these little V things extend my VFX meter to stay superhero longer, and a lot of them are always out of reach. But when enemies touch them, when you hit an enemy into them, they collect it for you. So a lot of things out of reach, you just have to be clever enough to like hit an enemy in a way that actually gets them for you.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured that out.
Did you finish this game?
Me?
Did you finish this?
Several times, yes.
Oh, okay, because I've only seen up to the shark boss. The robot shark. It seems really hard.
Grand Bruce.
Is that his name?
Grand Bruce. With his theme song was kind of like fake Jaws music.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Like intentionally you fake Jaws?
Intentionally fake Jaws music.
God, I love this game.
I mean, part 2 makes the puzzles even more clever because you also play as Joe's girlfriend, Sylvia. She gets a power up to, and her power is a replay, so you can hit an enemy and hit like record, and then press playback and she'll do it 3 times. So a lot of the puzzles, and her power is also electricity, so a lot of things involve using electricity to power things and using record to hit things 3 times. And the really hard ones are the ones that are mixed in with Joe's powers plus her powers to solve puzzles.
I think you're describing Blinks the Time Sweeper.
So, do you switch between her and him during the game? Or?
Yep, anytime.
Oh, okay.
They,
Well, I never got that before.
They jump in together and say things like, "Your turn, honey," and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah,
Did Kamiya make that one?
I think so.
The second one?
It has the
No.
exact same feel.
I didn't think so.
No, he didn't make.
He didn't?
He didn't make the second one. He's never made a sequel to his own game. He never gets the opportunity to do it.
Do you have to kick the door? Oh, that's a gate.
Yeah, there's something else I need to do. I mean, I did the water thing already over here.
Well, we'll find out
He's not-
what Pat has to do to open a gate without punching it. Next time on Video Game Playing Friends Club with Friends World Tour.
Good night.
That's the button! He did it! He just made it.
Good night, everybody.
Bye!